So I want you to hold in your image this picture, what it says. In 1983, a far-left communist terrorist group actually bombed the U.S. Capitol building. Susan Rosenberg was arrested with a cache of explosives in 1984 and sentenced to 58 years in prison for the attack. Bill Clinton commuted her sentence in 2001. Susan Rosenberg now sits on the board of Black Lives Matter. But see, she goes back further than that. She goes back to this guy. And if you see who's sitting next to this guy, that's Barack Obama before he was president. And who he's sitting next to is Bill Ayers. Bill Ayers and Bernardine Dohrn is where Obama's campaign began in their living room in Chicago. Bill Ayers was part of Weather Underground Group. And guess who else was part of Weather Underground Group? Susan Rosenberg. So so of course Bill Clinton, that's what these people do. The Weather Underground Group that Bill Ayers was a part of, not to mention Days of Rage back in '68 that caused rioting in Chicago, but the Weather Underground bombed buildings. And Bernardine Dohrn, his wife, served a short time in prison, much like Susan Rosenberg. Yet these bad people on the media, on the left, that want to carry on about January 6th, stick January 6th up your ass. Seriously. Honest to God. Any violence that happened there was because of types like these that infiltrated. They've been going out of their way to instigate a war with MAGA people. And we are not violent. The left is, these people are. And these people go on to teach your children in every major university in this country because they never are held accountable. They're called freedom fighters, not terrorists. But if you support Trump, you're deemed a domestic terrorist. There's Susan Rosenberg with Bill Clinton. That is her, which one was this? She did so many. Racketeering, conspiracy, armed bank robbery. Yes, they were all a club. There was even another one, I think I have a screenshot of it, that was also part of other, they're part of communist organizations, and they rename themselves, okay? But, and they bring it on the heels, especially to young people, that it's about socialism and freedom fighting. No, it's not. They're straight up terrorists. And again, Bill Ayers went on to work at University of Illinois Chicago for 30 years before retiring. Those are the people that are teaching your children. And then that's why your children come out of the universities and you think that they're smart. No, they're not. They're indoctrinated by a bunch of criminals. This is Bernardine Dohrn and Bill Ayers. Bernardine Dohrn's the one this is Bill Ayers' wife, who went to jail for a short time, said she doesn't feel bad about bombing the buildings. And they were both, I think they created Weather Underground Group. And what they hide behind is it's about activism. It's about community organizing. She went on to get a special position at Northwestern University. And I just did a video about this a day or two ago about how it's because his dad had all this power in Chicago. That's why she got that special position. And only because it's about indoctrinating your children. So everyone needs to shut up about January 6th. That was a playground of innocence compared to what these people have done in the United States. This is domestic terrorism. Are they still doing any of that? No. Yet the media, this is what scumbags they are. They're such liars. They're such scumbags because the people they protect and support are actually the domestic terrorists while they point the finger at people that support Trump who haven't done anything wrong. This is another one, Laura Whitehorn. So she was involved in the Senate bombing too. She was also part of Weather Underground. So they just recycle them, just like Susan Rosenberg was part of this. She had 58 years, but then Obama let her off. And what happened because Clinton pardoned her? She went on to head Black Lives Matter up that caused the most man-made manufactured destruction in the history of the United States in the summer of 2020. Yet every hospital in Chicagoland and the surrounding area stood by along with all the medical profession and nursing profession and said, we stand with BLM. And they did it all on the heels of this George Floyd bullshit. George Floyd was high on fentanyl. He died of a fentanyl overdose. CNN is never going to tell you the truth about that, but you should maybe go to the true experts that were involved in it. They've done interviews, and his autopsy says he died of a fentanyl overdose. But a cop today sits in jail and was stabbed recently 22 times because he was doing something that was in his police handbook. And by the way, George Floyd held a loaded gun up to a woman's pregnant belly when she was 9 months pregnant. It's not like he had some innocent past, but we had to watch and endure all through summer of 2020 that BLM was rageful because of George Floyd. What a con job the whole thing was. And yet the innocent people went to jail. Innocent people, black, white, didn't matter what color, had their businesses, their homes destroyed by these terrorist organizations that just happen to all be recycling the same domestic terrorist trash. Yet I have to listen to the media or Liz Cheney or any of these SOBs carry on about January 6th. Again, let me show you the picture. You can find it though. Bombing of the Capitol. It was all based on, I forget what the organization was called, what they called themselves back then, but they were a communist organization. They were. And they still are. So is BLM. All of them are. They are designed to take America down. But it was regarding something to do with Grenada and then Susan Rosenberg went even further than that. She went on to write this story about, I'm an American radical. No, she's a criminal. She is a domestic terrorist. Let's get it straight, CNN. Let's get it straight, FBI. The same people that are recycling over and over again, that are heading up the universities and teaching the children in this country, or young adults, I should say, are damn domestic terrorists. All of you people lie. It's just disgusting to me. And going back to this border, because it all ties to the same problem, the state-run media, CNN and MSNBC, and all of that garbage that works there that would rather stand up for the most depraved individuals, domestic terrorists, but point at us that are innocent people but support Trump. I can't stand it. It's the biggest damn lie of ever, really. So FBI came out today. There was 10 FBI agents that came out warning Congress that the U.S. is being invaded at the border. Alarming and perilous. So do you see what I mean? The smarter people are not the higher educated. Because as I said in my last video, Emily Berman out of University of Houston could look at that and not recognize that's a crisis, could not figure out how that could end up being a problem, cannot use her brain, cannot think. And why would you expect them to? They're being educated by terrorists. I mean, Bill Ayers, I'm sure, is not the only. The reason the universities don't stand with American values is because they've always been in the communist tank. That's the reason why they've been outed. They've been outed why they're marching with terrorist organizations and supporting terrorist organizations, because the universities are the terrorist organizations. And this was Bill Ayers. Yeah, I think this was after Days of Rage. Yeah, sort of like BLM's Summer of Rage. Yeah, well, back in the 60s, 68 to be exact, they had Days of Rage. Yeah, going downtown, Bill Ayers leading it all up, and all about you getting the right pay and getting involved in the union. Yeah, they're all part of the same damn effing syndicate.